see the world's finest restored and custom trucks, we traveled west to Wichita, Kansas, for the ISCA Grand Finale. Once a year, the best show trucks from all over the country come together for this event. I had the privilege of meeting the owners and seeing the details that made each truck a finalist.
There are 36 vehicles competing here at the ISCA Grand Finale. They're competing for a purse of $60,000 in cash and over $100,000 in merchandise.
Larry Blair's 71 limited edition Super Cheyenne Bad Company sports bucket seats, tilt steering, and a tachometer in the dash. The 9-inch Ford rear end has been narrowed, and Larry had to weld two fenders together on each side of the truck in order to cover these 19-inch oversized tires. But the most outstanding feature on this great truck is the paint job. The paint has been blended into an intricate pattern using 5 color graphics. The pattern follows the truck bed and has been reversed up over the sides and on the hood. Even the 454 LS 6-cylinder engine has been painted and pinstriped. Larry also likes engraving, so engraved a longhorn bull blowing smoke on the engine. Everything on this truck has been filled and ground smooth. Even the cowl vent is filled. All in all, this is certainly a truck to be proud of. This 55 F100 Ford is owned by Ron Blakely of Grass Lake, Michigan, and qualified as one of the top street machines in the truck van category. A group called Valario built this truck up from a $50 flea market frame. It took a year and a half to get it up to snuff. He calls it the Predator. It's got independent front suspension and a 9-inch Ford rear end. The engine is blueprinted and has poured and polished heads with some 24-karat gold plate. Ron finished the black walnut in the bed by hand. And he's painted the Predator pitch black because it's easier to see any imperfections in the body or the paint. It makes perfect more difficult to achieve. The judges like to take that into consideration. Mark Trainer calls his 83 Chevy pickup crazy with a red. The 350 V8 is detailed with chrome and Mark's favorite color, red. Look at that suspension. A great-looking truck from Spring, Texas. I really enjoy the ISCA Grand Finale. And the best thing about it is they hold one every year. The one I attended in New Orleans had a number of fabulous new entries on the show truck circuit.
Let's take a look at the first finalist in this year's ISCA Magna Show Truck Competition, this beautiful 1985 GMC pickup. We all know that show trucks are real works of art. Here's one where that expression truly applies. David Okowitz of East Lansing, Michigan, has created a stunning masterpiece he calls Low Tide. It's David's vision of the ultimate California beach truck. The realistic water splash effect was created with 3 different shades of blue, each fogged on top of one another. Artist Tim Hunt of Auto Art also added gray shadows and white highlights to make this 3D paint job really stand out. The painted water effect carries through the door jamb and onto the bottom of the dash. The interior is completely customized with handmade oak console and Recaro bucket seats. When not set up for display, Low Tide stands only 1.5 inches off the ground. No wonder it gets so wet on the beach. One of the most interesting things about this truck is that David decided to build this project quite literally by accident.
I was driving alone late at night, and all of a sudden this 8-point buck jumped out in front of me. I couldn't miss him. I totaled the truck, had to take it home and tell him all about it. He took it to the shop, and while it was there, decided to do a few modifications, a louvered hood, you know, lower it a little bit. Kept telling me that's all, that's all. And then it snowballed, and one thing led to another, and a little over 2 years later, it came out looking like it does.
David is especially proud of his engine. It's a 350 Ford 30 over that's been balanced and blueprinted. The block, heads, and transmission housing have all been ground smooth, feather filled, and painted to complement the body.
That's one truck sure to make a splash in the competition.
Take a look at this one-of-a-kind rear-engine 1980 Dodge pickup. It's got everybody talking. 59-year-old Nick Gutnick of Las Vegas, Nevada, took the engine and drivetrain out of a 1973 Tornado. He twin-turbocharged it and then dropped it in the back of his 1980 Dodge. When Nick originally built this truck, he had a different type of competition in mind.
We have a lot of kids with trucks that think they're really pretty fast. And I built this as a toy to show them what a fast truck is all about.
Nick's creation puts out twice the torque of a Corvette GR1 and weighs 1,000 pounds less. But before he ever made it to the drag strip, he decided to chrome a few parts. And before he knew it, he had a show truck. Nick's engineering background is certainly evident in this truck. Up front, the suspension points had to be separated 9 inches to match the wider new rear end. Nick liked the lines of the Dodge, but he wanted a short bed, so he shortened the wheelbase by 7 inches and took 16 inches out of the bed. All the box sections were welded, and he then added a stainless steel liner. The exterior is painted in a creamy white pearl with ghost flames on the door, and the cab interior has a very contemporary look by Denny Nash of Las Vegas. Nick told me one of the reasons he likes the show circuit so much is because of all the new friends he's made. One of them is also a finalist for Show Truck of the Year. He's the owner of this classic 56 Ford, Gary Griswold of Chico, California. In only his first year on the show circuit, Gary has earned a place in this grand finale because of his determination to make this 56 Ford a champion show truck. Gary stripped the truck down to the frame, which he boxed and filled. He used a Chevelle front end and a Jaguar rear end. The engine is a big 351 Cleveland that has been ground and smooth, and as you can see, it sports a lot of gleaming chrome. Gary estimates he has a good $10,000 of chrome work invested in this truck. Outside, all the seams have been filled and smooth, and likewise, the inside of the bed has been made to match by removing all rivets for a fluid line. He painted the truck black with very subtle purple graphics that highlight the real beauty and classic lines of this 56 pickup. For Gary, most of the fun of showing his special creation are all the new friends he's made this past year.
We were new on the circuit this year and didn't know what to expect. At Oakland, we met Nick Gutnick, who became a good friend and gave us a lot of advice and showed us the ropes.
Gary and I would set our displays up next to each other very often, and Gary would stop by and ask for some advice, and we'd give him some pointers.
After each show, we'd go home and to be competitive, go home and make modifications. Many of the modifications were made on the advice of Nick. Matter of fact, during the season, the truck's been apart 3 times.
I was ahead of Gary for most of the year, and apparently the advice worked, because Gary passed me the last couple shows in points, and he won the Pacific Division.
Well, Nick may not have won the division, but he did make a new friend, and that's a big part of showing trucks. One thing I've learned in my travels across the USA is there's a truck fan for every type of truck ever driven. In Memphis, Tennessee, I visited with my friend Brian Hughes, whose passion for trucks runs olive drab green. And this is the first military vehicle that you collected, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I bought it about 6 years ago from a salvage yard. It was in pretty sad shape.
It looks familiar. What do you call it?
It's a half track.
Yeah.
It's got truck tires in the front. It's got a track in the back like a tank. Mm-hmm. Basically go anywhere it wants to.
I know a lot of people, of course, doing this show, all over the country see people collecting Ferraris and Packards and motorcycles and Fords and whatever. You're the first military collector we've come across. Why military vehicle?
I believe I might be the last road warrior.
Okay.
No, I just like that period of time in history. It brought the country, united the country and companies and people together just the same basic way that Desert Storm did in the past.
Yeah, that's 2 great moments in our history. Do you still have the old command car?
Yes, sir.
We go for a ride?
You bet.
Well, you got to be a man.
Yeah, you do. How you like that double clutcher?
That's fun. It really is. I could really use this on the farm.
You like the power steering?
Mm-hmm. My own power. That'll keep you in shape. Tell me about it.
Well, this is, you remember the old Dodge Power Wagons?
Yeah, from the early 50s.
Yeah, this is basically what it is. It's a 3/4-ton Dodge truck, actually.
Looks like it.
Yeah, it's identical. It's got a 5,000-pound winch. They use this as a utility vehicle. It was a weapons carrier. They used it as an ambulance, and most recognized as a general staff car.
Yeah, it feels like it'll climb a wall.
It will. It'll climb about a 60-degree incline.
What kind of motor?
It's got a 6-cylinder. It's 230 cubic inch engine, and it's got a range of about 250 miles and maximum speed of about 55 miles an hour.
Is this the rarest vehicle you have?
No, I'd have to say the rarest vehicle I have is 10-ton War de France wrecker. It's actually a tank retriever.
Wow. Let's take a look at this.
All right.
Now this is a big truck. What is it? What does it do?
Well, it's Bubba. Bubba's the nickname. It's a War de France wrecker. It was built by Kenworth. It weighs about 40,000 pounds. It's an all-wheel drive. In fact, it has 12-wheel drive. You can put the duals on the front, so it's got 2-wheel drives all the way around.
Yeah.
It's actually a tank retriever. This was used to retrieve tanks that were stuck in the mud or had broken tracks or things like that. Armored cars that were over a cliff that would move the boom out over the edge of the cliff and reach down, pick it up, and set it back on the road.
Huge. What's power?
This power, it's got a 500 cubic inch 6-cylinder. Cylinders are about 5.5 inches in diameter. Also, the engine is a chromium nickel alloy block, which is basic overkill. They built everything strong in this truck.
Brian, I noticed the plates on the dash are in French.
Yeah, the truck was built by Kenworth, but it served in for different countries.
It was built here in the United States.
This was built in the United States, but it served in overseas, and I actually found the truck in Belgium. And that's where
the French.
Yeah. I'm converting it to. I'm leaving the French designations on it, but I'm converting all the emblems on it to the United States.
The War de France is big, but it's not Brian's biggest vehicle. This is Betsy. She's 9 feet wide, 10 feet tall, 20 feet long, and weighs 65,000 pounds. She's one of the few operable Sherman tanks in the United States. She's got a rear engine with twin overhead cams and can reach 30 miles an hour. The real power of Betsy is a 75mm cannon. Betsy has also been in the movies. She's appeared in the Blues Brothers, Tank, and Biloxi Blues, and loved every minute of it. Brian, this is special. I guess you're going to keep this one forever, right?
Well, my intentions were to keep it forever. I had Betsy a long time. It means a lot to me. But the United States Army has offered me an exchange.
Oh, for what?
They want to trade a Desert Storm tank, a tractor, and a trailer rig for Betsy.
And 60?
Yes, sir.
Going to do it?
Well, yeah, I believe I am. Betsy's going to go to the National Museum in Washington, D.C., and that'll have opportunity for everybody in the United States to see her.
Sharing Betsy is a very charitable thing to do. And one thing that can be said about all truckers is where charity's involved, you can count us in. Down in Cocoa Beach, Florida, I was lucky enough to attend a great big trucking party held for charity called the Country Fest. There are over 200 of the finest show trucks in the Southeast here today. You'll see everything from lifted 4x to lowered street machines. Take a look at this one, Final Approach. Tim Bosch bought this '84 Toyota in December of that year. He told us it was like new at the time, and he soon made it the first truck in town that could ride only 1 inch off the ground. He designed this aerodynamic-looking front end and welded on the steel ground effects. He added a high-performance cam, header, and Weber carburetor, and polished valve covers. The engine compartment has panels covering the sides, and his custom front end features pop-up headlight doors. Tim added a custom bed wing to his hydraulic dump bed and shaved the handles on the tailgate and doors. To complete his custom interior, Tim and his dad did the console work. Great job. Now here's another truck with some spectacular features. This '89 Nissan tilt bed is owned by Randy Hobbs of Orlando. Customized interior has been made into an impressive walkthrough. The frame has been all boxed and the underside has been totally filled. In the rear, the bumper from an S10 gives a flush look. He's added 4-wheel drive fenders up front, and throughout the body, Randy has shaved and filled, giving us a sleek look. Now there's a truck that really defines the word radical. Rick Lance's 51 Chevy Pro 51 is competing in the Pro Street category. Standing off the back of the bed is a 6-foot top fuel dragster wing which hangs 3 feet off the back. His engine is a 400 Chevy V8 with a tunnel ram. He's lowered the entire vehicle to 2 inches off the ground. He built the frame himself with the help of his friend Nat Jackson, and he modestly told us he usually wins first prize.
I've got a lot of first places. The truck has done very well. It's been in a couple magazines, and we're very pleased with this truck.
This is Bill Cox. He's the head judge at the Country Jamboree Truck Show. Bill, good to see you. Love your outfit.
Thank you.
Who's your tailor?
My wife.
Okay. What do you look for judging the trucks?
Whenever we judge a truck, we go in and we look at all aspects, from the bed, from the engine, the interior, the undercarriage, the whole aspect of the truck, not just the truck. We look at it from start to finish, from front bumper to rear bumper. Our judges can spend up to 5-10 minutes on one truck at any given show.
Does it matter to you how much effort it looks like has gone into the truck?
Oh, yes, sir. That's the biggest part of the whole thing. How much has he's done himself? Also take into consideration if he's done it himself or if he's gone out to a shop. Even though he's paid to have it done, a lot of times my judges are professional painters, and they'll pick up that he's painted it and he's done a better job than they could do themselves.
Well, we got a lot of trucks. It sounds like you got a lot of help.
We got a lot of help out here today. We got about 8 or 9 judges out here today.
All right. Thanks, Bill. Now here's another truck that's sure to catch the judge's eye. This is Bob Stafford's 87 Dodge B50. He calls it Youth Part 2 because he believes it represents his second childhood. He's added button touch upholstery from bumper to bumper. All the emblems have been shaved, as well as the door handles, the gas tank door, and the tailgate. In back of his tilt hydraulic bed are custom chrome rear bumpers. His whole treatment is set off by ground effects and has won first place and best of show 4 times. The hood opens on the side, and this mural tells the whole story. It's a lot of fun being involved in an event like this, and there's some interesting side benefits. The nice one about today is that the proceeds from this truck show go to benefit the Destination Florida Foundation for British Children with Special Needs. Just another way that truckers are helping out.